Thank you for joining me. Today I want to go over one of the stocks that I'm buying in August 2019, which is Walmart. And I'm going to be buying it for $100 every 2 weeks, and I'm also going to be reinvesting the dividends, and some of you can figure out why that whole story makes sense. Now, Walmart has a PE of 38.6, which seems high, but there's a lot of factors that still make this a good stock despite the high price. The dividend is $2.12 per year, or 53 cents per quarter, which is a dividend yield at the current price of 1.89%, which as a dividend stock is not great, obviously, but again, there's other factors that make this still a decent stock. The earnings per share is $3.08, which means that there's still room to grow the dividends, and they have been increasing the dividend steadily over the past 50-ish years. So obviously, in the long term, there's a bit of room for growth. I don't think that you can expect huge jumps short term, obviously. And part of that is because the revenue is $515 billion per year, which means that this is the number one publicly listed company in terms of revenue. There's no other company that even comes close. Amazon, for example, has like a third of the revenues. So clearly the growth is fairly limited from $515 billion per year, especially since they do some short-term things that from a purely revenue growth perspective don't quite make sense, but it's more of an image play on the whole company and the earnings as well. So they raised the minimum hourly wage to, I believe it's $12 an hour right now, which does not make sense from an earnings perspective, but it makes a lot of sense from a company image, company culture perspective, because for years you've been hearing about how Walmart treats their workers and how everyone needs to have food stamps to even make a living. And we're actually years away from that, and the stories are starting to die down a bit because they're at this point very far removed from reality. Everyone still expects Walmart to be paying $7 an hour, and they're at nearly twice that for the entry wage, not even the average or the median. So the starting wage is $12 an hour, which actually puts them in a good competitive position for if/when the federal minimum wage gets raised, which I assume will happen probably in a couple years. So the revenue growth of 3% over the past 3 years, pretty flat before that, but again, Walmart is not chasing revenues anymore. They're not just opening supercenters wherever they can. They just put them where they make sense and where they're proven to make sense. And there have actually been a few store closures lately, where they closed like 70 stores last year or something like that. So despite that, revenue is growing, same-store sales are growing, and they have a good portfolio internationally. So in India, they own Flipkart, which is an online retailer, and in China, they have stores. They have stores in Mexico. They have stores in a lot of high-growth countries. So international, there's a whole lot of room for growth. Nationally, not so much. But I think they're fairly well positioned over the long term with the international portfolio. And I think that if a recession were to happen, it would be a very safe investment because everyone needs to eat. Everyone needs clothes. Walmart has cheap clothes, cheap shoes, cheap food, cheap medicine, toiletries, laundry stuff, everything, literally everything. So very safe investment over the long term. You can count on the dividend yield to at least stay the same for many years. And all that is why I think Walmart is, first of all, a very safe investment, and second of all, still a pretty good stock to buy even at a 38 PE. Now, in contrast to Amazon, Amazon is at an 80 PE, and I would definitely buy Walmart over Amazon right now, with a little caveat. I would buy AWS, the Amazon Web Services. If I could just buy Amazon Web Services and not the rest, then I would definitely invest there. But obviously, they kind of come as a package deal. But still, I think I would definitely buy Walmart over Amazon right now. And make sure to subscribe if you like more videos like this. I'm making new videos every day before market open. I hope you have a successful day.